So I was confused.
And you know,
I always
that's
thought
what,
like 5G. I thought that was like a rap reference or something. Like it was like Lil Wayne and 50 Cent and Ice Cube and Dr. Dre and throw in one other gangster rapper like Ice-T, and that was like 5Gs.
that's what you thought 5G was?
That's totally. I thought it was like a new group coming out. I was pretty excited, but now I'm like afraid that they're just gonna melt my eyeballs out.
Well, I mean, the speed with which you're receiving the data, I mean, once it starts to get everywhere, we don't really know. Like I said, it's in really, dense populations, like major cities and real small areas. It's not everywhere yet. Once it is, there's going to be some just real heavy waves. You're going to be able to feel it, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I bet you it's gonna freak out those tinfoil hat people. Like, there's like,
it's gonna make it,
you know how people make fun of the people who wear like tinfoil hats. But you know what's interesting about that? There really is like a large group of people who believe that shit on the internet. Who believe that like the government they're called targeted individuals. They believe that the government is actually shooting waves and information into their home and targeting them and making them think and see shit. And they believe that if they wear tinfoil hats, that they can block those waves. And funny thing about that is there actually is some papers. There are some government documents that have something to do with like alpha, beta, and delta brain waves and how to influence people's actions and shit.
Is that what you've been doing?
Yeah, totally. My whole house is lined with tinfoil.
I can imagine it is, but not like just like tinfoil that was on like, takeout that you ordered, and you just slowly amassed it for like 3 or 4 years.
My house is basically a bunch of Chipotle burrito wrappers, taped to the wall.
I'm down though. I'm ready for it. I want as much technology as they can give us. I want it all. Go ahead, fry my fucking eyeballs. I'm ready to go. Let's do some cool shit.
Do you believe in chemtrails?
Not really, no. I mean, not at all. I had this show called Joe Rogan Questions Everything, and there was like a real approach to it, like raw, just going in and talking with these people and with real scientists and with real people that were like actual experts in the field, and then, all the conspiracy people. And I mean, it was almost ridiculous how silly some of those people are. Like, you just can't. They refuse to ever even research anything that would make them be incorrect. Like, they won't acknowledge that it exists as a thing. They won't look at it, read it. They have no interest in anything changing their opinion on what it is. Like, it's just, that's what they believe.
How do you feel about the flat Earth?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah, are you a flat earther?
I mean, it's clearly not fucking flat. I mean, there are digital pictures of the Earth and you can go right now and watch it live on the internet if you want. Like, it's not, there's no chance of being flat. You can fly and swim and drive around it. Like, you...
It could be fake, though.
Could it? That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. But what if they really, they were really committed to this lie? There's like no real reason for it. They're just like, man, we really got to stick to it. You ever do that? You ever tell like a stupid lie? And, like, it's really not that important, but you already told the lie, so, like, you're just super committed to it.
So you got to go all in, dude. Yeah.
Right. You go all in, and there's really no consequences to be. That's what happened with the flat Earth. See, they came up with this lie that the world was round, and then by the time they realized it was dumb to keep the lie up, they said, "Fuck it, we just got to keep going with it. They'll never believe us again." And so now, even though there's no good reason to lie to us anymore, they're just keeping it going so that we can still enjoy Star Trek and Star Wars and shit.
I just don't. So that's what the thing. They believe that other planets are round, just not Earth.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's like a snow globe. I actually
not us.
I actually researched it a lot, man. Like, you can watch enough YouTube videos to convince you of anything. Like, there for a minute, man, I was like almost convinced, and then like I realized that it was stupid. But yeah, man, there's actually some. I tell you what, there's a lot of videos out there that they make a good argument for why the Earth isn't round, but they don't really make a good argument for why it's flat. You know what I'm saying? So they call into question a lot of reasons why the world's round, but like they don't really have a good, like, solid explanation for why it's flat. It's weird.
What would be the purpose of wanting it flat?
The one that got me was this. Here's the one that got me that like took a long time. All right. So the southern tip of South America, right? So in Chile or whatever, way down in South America.
Right.
In order to fly from the tip of South America to Australia should be a relatively short trip, right? You just fly over Antarctica and you're there in a few hours. But you can't do that. And the theory is the reason why you can't do that is because the Earth is not round. The Earth's flat. So you have to actually take like a fucking 20-hour trip to fly from the tip of South America to Australia. And like that fucked with me for a while. And then there.
I mean, how do you even know that that's true? How do you know? Why can't they? Maybe it's too far. I mean, who knows? I mean, they can fly around. They can. Why couldn't they? Why aren't they allowed to fly there? They just say no, you can't. It's a blank spot.
Well, there actually is a flight that goes from Australia to South America that flies over Antarctica, but according to flat earthers, you can never get like a plane ticket for this flight or some shit. Yes. So there for a long time
I mean,
it was.
What's the reason you can't though? Why do they say you can't?
What do you mean?
Like, is it because there's mountains? Is it because there's the bad weather that way? What's the reason there are no flights? Like, why?
No, that's the reason, according to flat earthers, is that because the world isn't flat. I mean, the world isn't round. The world's flat. So you can't just fly.
What's the reason to non-flat earthers?
There really wasn't a reason. I mean, because non-flat earthers don't care about that type of shit, But it turns out there actually is a flight that goes from one to the other. So it's funny because whenever you debunk something, people like have to come up with a reason why to like continue their own delusional thinking. So it's like, no, look, there actually is a flight that it doesn't go straight over Antarctica, which I guess makes sense because, I'm sure it's like really super fucking cold at the South Pole, It kind of like goes around a little bit.
Or the North Pole.
But
I mean, South would be warm, right?
Are you an idiot?
The North Pole is cold.
They're both
The more north you go, the colder it is.
Yeah, but the more south you go, if you go all the way south, as far south as you can, it's fucking frozen. That's where the penguins live, man.
No, that's on the top. That's where where would it be hot?
Dude.
So that's frozen on both ends?
Yeah, man.
I think there's the meridian or whatever. It's like it's half of it's frozen, half of it's warm.
No, man. See, like the equator is the hottest that it is because the equator is like where we're biggest and closest to the sun. But on the poles, it's farthest away from the sun because that's where the world's smaller, and we're frozen on both poles.
My pole's frozen
man.
right now.
Really? It is?
So it's just warm in the middle and cold on the tips.
Exactly.
But we're rotating and shit. So doesn't it switch?
No, I mean, because we turn, but we're on a tilted axis, so that's the reason why Alaska, because it's so far north, it has times where it's just daylight all the time, and then it has times where it's just nighttime all the time. Because it's on a tilted axis.
6 months of light and 6 months of dark. I think that'd be kind of dope.
Yeah, I guess so. I can't believe you didn't know that, Dave.
6 months of dark.
Did you know there's no penguins on the North Pole?
Dude, there's all type of penguins on the North Pole. They're called Northies.
There's no penguins on the North Pole. Penguins all live on the South Pole.
No, dude.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. Look it up.
What lives on the North Pole?
Polar bears and Santa Claus. And elves.
Is that where the toy shop is?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. My mom ruined Santa Claus for me earlier.
Your mom. Wait a second. This is more interesting than what I was going to say. Your mom ruined Santa Claus for you?
Yeah, I mean, she told me like right away. I was like 4 or 5. She's like, I had to bartend for this shit, you little bastard. Don't fucking. Yeah, you know that pool table you got, the little Tykes fake one. It's all small. Yeah, I bought that. Santa didn't drag that fucking shit down the chimney. Take care of it. Ugh.
Your mom ruined Santa Claus
beer.
for me. She used to make me dress as Santa Claus when we'd fool around. See what I did there? Hey, here's another cool technology. A husband hunting bra.
What's it got like?
It says move over matrimonial sites. Japan has manufactured a husband finding bra. Feed the bra a wedding ring stops the countdown. The countdown can be set. You can always do it yourself and gift it to the special one. It doesn't really give much explanation. I know I have so many questions. It's got a timer on it. I see a picture. It's a husband finding bra.
You put the wedding ring in it?
Yeah, so like I guess it's like tied to the wedding ring. So like if you lose your husband, I guess he's got to find it or else your tits blow up.
So it's a titty bomb, dude?
It's like fucking Al Qaeda fucking meets fucking tentacle porn.
Meets love, dude.
And made it.
Hey,
you know a technology I heard. You know a technology question I heard talk about that I thought was interesting is you ever see them talk about simulations? Like how crazy it's getting with the simulations we can run. Like basically,
what about them?
Basically, we're getting to the point where we can run these simulations within a computer, and these simulations are basically reenacting what human life is on Earth and what's going on. So in order to fix maybe some world problems, what we'll do is we'll run a simulation in this controlled environment in a computer that reenacts everything about, like, kind of like the Matrix. It's like the Matrix is going on inside this computer, but they change one little small thing and see what the outcome is over time. And what they're saying is that once we start running these simulations that try to fix things, how would we know whether or not we're actually in the real world or whether or not we're part of a simulation?
Oh, I hope so. I want all that cool shit to be real. I hope when I die, I just wake up as like a